So welcome to my new vlogging abilities. Like this is gonna be rad. So tomorrow I'm helping this person move out of our neighbor's guest room. The whole story is that she's homeless, which, like, hey, been there, and our neighbor works with her. So she let her stay at her house for a little while, and apparently she's just had all these problems, and she also has a dog, and so it's just kind of like she needed to get out. And so she said that she has a friend that she's going to be staying with, who doesn't live that far away. It's a lot closer to her work. So being the good Christian I am, just kidding, I just wanted to help our neighbor. So I had a long and very candid talk with our neighbor this morning. Gosh, she drinks all of my wine and like eats all of my food, and she's like, I can't have her stay here anymore. And she's having family come stay with her. So she was like, she promised to only stay for like a week or 2 weeks. It was going to be very interim. And so I told her, like, hey, you can probably rent like a U-Haul van or a truck or something, because apparently all of her stuff's in storage. So I was like, I can help her probably rent a U-Haul van and, you know, see where it goes from there. And so she was like, okay, I'll talk with the person and see what we can do. And she said, and if she can't pay you, I'll pay you. And so I totally trust our neighbor. I'm like, sure. So the whole, I think I ordered a 10-foot mini box truck. I have to go pick it up at 9 o'clock in the morning, which I'm not a morning person. And especially right now when I have strep throat, I'm like, oh, I don't even want to get up in the morning. I don't even want to think about getting in a bed, period. I'm surprised I got dressed today. And my neighbor said she hasn't packed any of her stuff, which, I mean, she probably obviously doesn't have that much. So all of her stuff's in storage. So I'm basically going to go pick up the truck. We're going to go to her storage unit, or I'm going to come back here, pick her up, go to her storage unit, drop all of her junk off at the place. And if she's kind of like, no, I'm going to stay here for a little bit longer, I'll be like, you're an illegal tenant. So either you give us $450 for having the dog here, or, like, I'm literally gonna just throw your stuff out right now. I really don't want to be a terrible person, but I really feel for our neighbor. I don't know. This will be one of my first videos in a really long time. I took a little bit of time off. But instead of having 5 subscribers, now I have 13. So I'm like, hey, twice the audience. I'm pathetic, I know. So we're on our way to get the U-Haul truck. I wanted to leave early, but that didn't happen. Mostly just because I wanted to get Dutch Bros. But, I mean, technically my husband and I don't drink coffee, but we still really like their blended drinks, their frosts, and I get their almond milk hot chocolate every once in a while, because I'm mostly dairy free. Random information that nobody needs to know. So we're on our way to get the U-Haul truck. Yay! So we're at the storage unit right now, and it actually goes pretty far back. I don't know if you can actually tell, but there's like a bed and a dresser and junk like that. And it's so funny because I was talking to her on the way here, and we actually have a lot in common. So I'm like 100% glad that I didn't snitch on her. When we went to go drop off all of the stuff that was in the U-Haul to the girl's house, the neighbor came out. And she was like, how long are you guys going to be here? And I was like, why are you asking her how long she's going to live here? Like, that's kind of rude and you're not in charge of that. But she was asking us how long we were going to be on the street, because apparently she had someone delivering stuff today. And so we were like, literally, we just need to take the things out of the U-Haul and then, like, we're going to be gone, kind of thing. And she was like, well, there's technically no parking around here. And she just kind of went on. And I was like, no, really, we're gonna be 10 minutes. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. So we spent a lot of time in the back of the truck just moving it over, like, next to the house so that we could just move the U-Haul truck. And so as I'm moving the U-Haul truck, the lady comes over to the girl that's moving in, and she was like, I'm sorry, that was probably the worst first impression you could have ever gotten from me. And I was like, yeah, probably. But I mean, she was just like apologizing, and I was like, you're probably just trying to save face because the girl's gonna live there. And then one of the roommates that already lives at that house, we told him that, you know, she had come over and just kind of made a fuss, and he was like, oh, we have problems with her all the time. So we were like, yeah, makes sense. So we got her to the house, we got all of her stuff out, and I asked the guy if I could film his house because it was amazing. You walk straight in and you just see this like huge amazing bar, and then you turn and there's like a pool table, like an arcade. It was amazing. And then the craziest thing happened, but I'll have to tell you guys that story in a second. So we've had a pretty crazy day, and I don't really want to get into all of it because honestly, I'm done. If you'd like to see a story time of my accident, then just give me a comment. So now we are going to, what are we going to do? We're going to go to different stores and get some things. I need some random stuff like super glue and sugar-free stuff. And so we're going to go do that and hopefully just have a better day than we've been having. I've basically gotten to the point in my life where I don't mind walking. Partially because I'm in this constant battle to lose weight, and partially because something is less than a quarter mile away. So when I had to be dropped off at USPS to deliver some eBay packages, my husband said, oh, we forgot the stroller. I'm like, that's fine. You know, we have to go back. And so he was like, well, why don't you go inside? I'll go back. And I was like, this isn't going to take that long. I'll just walk. It's literally across the street from USPS where he wants to go. And so I'm like, whatever, I'll walk and enjoy this nice day. It's actually like really nice. There's a little bit of wind blowing. What is it, April? I'm really bad at keeping track. I just needed to have like a moment to myself to kind of process what happened earlier, because I already have like PTSD about people yelling at me. I had a conversation with the lady that we helped move today. And I was like, I've literally been trying to lose weight for like 7 months. And she's like, oh, well, my mom has Graves' disease. So, you know, I can totally understand that it might be a thyroid thing. And I was like, well, my mom has Hashimoto's. So, I think almost also my brother and my aunt do as well. So, I guess when I go to the doctor this Thursday, I will be talking to them about that. And I'm also going to be talking to them about getting my tonsils out because, wow, my tonsils suck. So we are at the Roseville Galleria Mall, and I went to Lolly and Pops because why wouldn't you? I'm just kidding. We're going to the movies tonight, so we wanted to get like a treat, and I've had kind of a rough day. So when I asked to go to Lolly and Pops, usually my husband says no because we just don't need it. But this time he said yes because he loves me. So I also kind of maybe wanted to get like some new clothes. And we just noticed that JCPenney is having their buy one get one 1 cent sale. I don't know if it's everything in the store. Let's go read the small text. Buy one item at regular price, get the second item equal or less of value for 1 cent as advertised in the specific order. Let's do this. So I think I've basically accepted the fact that I'm going to be plus sized my whole life, but that doesn't make it any easier to shop for clothing because plus size clothing kind of sucks. Unless you have a lot of money to put into it. I mean, look at me today. I'm not like, I don't know, fancy, but I'd like to. Yeah, I'd wear that. My husband keeps telling me, like, if you have to change something when you're buying it, then don't buy it. I also, like, have to buy things that are a whole size too big because I have a very large chest from having lots of children. Let's keep looking. Just looking at the, like, price tags always get me. Because, like, honestly, sometimes it wouldn't stop me. But right now, it's kind of like, we don't have a lot of money. I mean, if I'm here, I might as well look at the clearance. Oh my gosh, this is so difficult. I should really name this video like Panic Attack in a JCPenney's. So my other problem with shopping is that I'm like insanely tall. I'm 5'10"-ish. So it's really hard to actually find like pants that fit from a store really well, and or shirts that fit really well from a store. Most of the shirts are crop tops on me. I'm gonna go find my husband and basically just tell him that I didn't find anything, which he'll probably just be like, told you so. Hey Nick, are you bored yet? So now we're in Forever 21 because I didn't find anything in JCPenney's. And we'll see what they got. So we didn't find anything in here either. Shocker. Yeah, it's really hard shopping as a plus-size woman. It's the worst. So when I'm having issues with anxiety, I tend to just think over it over and over and over and over, and the situation keeps going over and over and over. Especially if it's something that has affected me before, like people yelling at me, you know, people blaming me for things. I'm still having a really hard time with all of this, and it's affecting me pretty hardcore. But as I'm thinking about it, I feel like there's nothing better that I could have done in this situation. So after this long, slightly interesting, slightly horrible day, we actually ended up going to the drive-in movies, which we have one pretty close to us. It's in Sacramento, in kind of like an industrial area, but it's really cool. And we went and we saw Shazam, which, what would we give that, like 4 stars out of 5? But yeah, there was a lot of humor in it. We laughed a lot. And then on our way home, we went to Walmart and we got just the most random stuff. I'm slightly frustrated because the last time that I tried to do daily vlogging, I was, I want to say like 19, and it actually ended up with me hitting a car, which was my friend's car. I don't ever want to do that again. So almost 10 years later, 8 years later, you know, I'm trying again. Yeah, if you guys want the whole video on how I got into a car accident, or the whole thing leading up to it, and the whole aftermath of that, just leave a comment down below. Just let me know if you'd like that. I told my husband earlier, like, this kind of helps me get out of my shell, and it kind of helps me feel better. And I've definitely needed like something else to do with my life, because my life's kind of hard and it's really stressful. But that's only partially because I have anxiety and depression. So, you know, we'll see what comes in the future. I hear my husband laughing in the background. I don't think he's laughing at me. At least I hope he's not laughing at me. But yeah, I'm gonna go eat some leftover Chinese food, and maybe my husband and I will watch some funny videos. Whoever made that video, props.